afternoon, everyone. Would I be right to say that we are all familiar with the Boko Haram crisis in Nigeria? But has it ever crossed your mind, or have you ever asked yourself, what happens after Boko Haram attacks a community? After the gunshots stop, when the headlines fade and people move on, do you know who bears the brunt of violence? My name is Shola Abe, and I'm the Media and Communications Officer of a civic tech organization that champions gender equality using data. And today, I'll be telling you the 3 lessons I learned from interacting with the women and girls who survived the Boko Haram crisis in northern Nigeria. But first, let me start with the story of Amina. You see, Amina lived a peaceful and regular life in Gujba, Yobe State. Her husband provided for her and her 5 children. In fact, she was certain of the day's activities. And whenever she goes out, she knows she would come back home. Amina took care of her family in peace, and she was in safety in her community. Amina had heard about the Boko Haram crisis far away, and she believed that her community was safe. But one day in 2019, Boko Haram attacked her community. Quickly, she fled with her family to the neighboring town. But unknown to her, a neighbor in the former community, who was affiliated with Boko Haram insurgents, had trailed her. Amina and 2 of her grown-up children were abducted, and they were taken to Sambisa Forest, where she was forcefully married to a Boko Haram member. 3 years later, Amina escaped captivity with a 5-month-old pregnancy. It was until she returned home that she learned her husband had been killed. That is the reality of thousands of women and girls in northern Nigeria. Their lives and bodies bearing the weight of the Boko Haram crisis. But that's not the end of the story. Because in the weeks that I interacted with women like Amina across Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe, I noticed patterns, painful yet uncomfortable truths that stayed with me even after the camera stopped rolling. From that experience, I learned 3 lessons. 1, nobody is immune. Violence does not respect distance. Who would have ever thought that Boko Haram would attack people in Kwara State? Sometimes, when we hear tragedy, we think that it's far away, and then we think that our safety is permanent. But safety is only about time and proximity. Number 2, survival is not healing. You can survive danger, and then healing takes a different turn. Yes, these women escaped captivity, but many of them are still carrying deep trauma, pain that they cannot even name, explain, or identify. Number 3, I learned that justice is deeply personal. Many of us here, we believe justice is all about courts and punishments. But sometimes, justice is about acknowledging harm. Many of these women today, they are still waiting for the harm done to them to be acknowledged, for them to be compensated to rebuild their lives, so that they can afford basic amenities like food, clothing, and dignity. So, in conclusion, when we think about conflicts, we think about policies, we think about timelines, and we think about statistics. But for women like Amina, the conflict continues in their bodies, in their lives, and in everyday survival. So I leave you with this question. After the gunshots stop, when the headlines fade, and people move on. Who remembers the women and girls who survived this conflict? Thank you so much for listening. My name is Shola Abe.